Happy Monday, everyone. Carmen Braaksma here. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from Arvada, Colorado, and we're here for another episode of MoJOY Monday. So today is the last day we're going to be doing fall themes because um, this is our last Monday in September. So I'm going to be changing themes for next month. So the two stamp sets that I'm going to be using today is the Gorgeous Leaves, and we're going to be using one of the dies out of here. And so this is a bundle, and then we're also using the Beauty of Friendship. And we're mostly just using the sentiments from here and a couple of die cuts. So we are going to get started with the card. So I decided to go with a card base of the soft suede. So we're going to start with that. And all the dimensions will be put in the description as always. So I'm going to get me a little scrap paper here so I don't ink up my pad here. And we're going to take the soft suede ink and we're going to take the image that is in the Gorgeous Leaves. We're going to be using this little one right here. And we're going to ink it up in soft suede. And this is basically tone on tone. If you have a Versamark ink pad, you could use that as well. And one thing I noticed, don't push too hard because if you'll get a bunch of ink around the edge and then you'll get those marks on your card. I kind of noticed that when I was designing this. So let's go ahead, and what I'm going to do is start randomly stamping some of these leaves on this side of the card. And so I'm not going to go and bore you with watching me stamp, but I have one complete. So we'll set this aside and pull in the one that is already done. And so this is how it'll look when it's all finished. So now we are going to, I decided to use this designer paper. I love it. It is, let's see. Let's see if I can find it so I can give you the name of it. Because I forgot to write that down. But it is gorgeous paper. And let me find it here. Well, I'm not having much luck. So, but it's in the annual catalog. And it is called, let's get to that paper. Okay, finally, here it is. So it's the Beauty of Earth. And so I'm using this design right here. And what I love about this is you could literally cut it in half at 6 inches and then, use it for your card. So I didn't need that much, so I did cut it in half, but then I also cut it down smaller because I just needed a 2-inch piece that I'm going to adhere to this side of the card. So I cut off most of the white up here because I didn't need that, and I wanted to see more of the watercolored looking trees. So then I took some early espresso and I took a strip of this, and like I said, all the dimensions will be in the description. And I just want to kind of add this to give a little border like this. So I'm going to go ahead and get my Stampin' Seal out, and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to just run a strip down the back side of this side of, well, maybe I am. There we go. Got it started. Then I'm going to go ahead and just line this up to give myself a little border of that early espresso color that I want to be shown. Okay, now we are going to put this down, and you can either put it flush up to the, and I wanted to show you, let me show you where I got my inspiration, because I should have marked that page too, because I want to show you how I get inspired by things that are in the catalog. Our catalogs have so many great card ideas, and you can literally just get inspired by looking at the ones that have already been designed. So I'll show you the card here that I can find the page. Here it is. So I was inspired by this card here. And you see they put the designer paper clear to the edge. But I'm going to, I think, because I'm going to add maybe just a little border to this side, because I think that looks cool. Kind of looks like I put another strip over here. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down. And then we'll continue on. So I am going to leave that little border on this side as well, right at that, right where the card folds. Okay, there we go. So now I took a scrap piece of basic white, and I took cinnamon cider, misty moonlight, Merry Merlot, and Cajun Craze, because those are all the colors that are in the designer paper. And then I took this leaf stamp right here, and we're going to stamp this in each of these colors on this scrap piece of basic white. So let's ink up this first color, which is the cinnamon cider, and stamp our first leaf down. And then, now, if you didn't want it as dark, you could always off stamp it. But then the thing is you're going to have to clean your stamp between colors so that you don't contaminate your other ink pads. So let's close this up. Let's move on to the next color. And we'll do the Misty Moonlight. Ink that up. And stamp that, leaving enough room for your die cut. And then we're going to clean it off again between colors. Okay, move on to the next color, which is the Merry Merlot. And ink that up. Stamp that. And see, that isn't as dark, but that's okay because the designer paper has kind of that lighter color too. So it's all in what you want it to look like. And then looks like I didn't leave myself, hopefully I left myself enough room there for the Cajun Craze. I'm pretty sure I did because the dies really hug the images. So go ahead and ink that up and stamp that down. And there we go. So now we have those 4 colors. And so just so that we don't waste a whole lot of more time, I just went ahead and I took the die that goes with it and, you know, put it around and then ran it through my die cut machine. But I've already done that. but we don't have to do that here. And then I came out with our 4 leaves. So now we're going to bring our card back in. And what I did, I think what I'm going to do is decide where my sentiment is going to go first. So I stamped on a scrap piece of basic white the thank you, and I used this die that was in the Beauty of Friendship bundle. I think that's, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where this came from. And I went ahead and stamped that, and then I die cut it with this. And in that same set was this other die that's a little longer. And I went ahead and die cut a piece of early espresso to match this border. So I came up with these 2 pieces here. So now I'm going to go ahead and adhere this thank you to this piece, this strip of early espresso. So I'm going to go, I really don't need, I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to use my liquid adhesive because I don't need it all over. I just need a little section. So I don't need it all over. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue like that. Just enough to hold the sentiment. So now I'm just going to center this on there. And get it even. That's the good thing about the liquid glue. You have time to move it before it dries. Okay. That looks pretty good, I think. Maybe it's easier to see from the back. Okay, so there we go. Now, I'm going to decide where I want that on the card, and I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm going to put probably 3 on the back of this, just so that it has some good stability. And I know I want it up in this area, but what I'm going to do is, because I want to be able to, have room for my leaf up there. So kind of going to lay that leaf there just to give it a visual of where I could put this. Now I'm going to take the backs off our Stampin' Dimensionals and go ahead and adhere our sentiment on our card. So I think about right there. Okay, now it's just a matter of adhering our leaves. So I think, I don't know if I want them popped up or if I wanted to just glue them down. I think I will pop them up with some dimensionals. So let's go ahead and put one on the back of here. And find a nice spot for it. And I think I'm going to angle it this way so that my stem of my leaf goes underneath my sentiment. Okay, now I don't want to put the 2, because these 2 colors are a lot alike. So I'm going to go with the next color. Put a dimensional on the back. I'm going to use the Merlot next. And then I'm going to angle this one the opposite direction and kind of let it hang over the sentiment there. Okay, now let's move on to the next one, which is, I think this is the Cajun Craze leaf. And going to go ahead and put it at this angle, kind of overlapping that other stem. And then our last one is the Misty Moonlight. And go ahead and I'm going to put that probably like that. Maybe, there we go. And there's this little bit hanging over, so I'm going to just take my scissors and my paper snips and just trim that off. Okay, so there we go. We have that. Now we just need to work on the inside. So I went ahead and took a piece of basic white, and I wanted to stamp in here too, and I didn't want to use the same leaves that I did. So because it's going to be on the inside of the card and the card base is soft suede, I'm going to go ahead and use soft suede for the inside. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink it up once, and then make sure it's nice and inked. Then I'm going to stamp it in the bottom corner here. And then without re-inking it, I'm going to go ahead and just stamp another one off to the side. I like that look a lot. Okay, so then all we need now is a sentiment. And I decided to do the You Truly Inspire Me. And I'm not going to do that here. When I got that done, here's what it looks like. So now it's just a matter of adhering this to the inside of the card. And I think we'll be done with this card. I didn't have any embellishments, I guess, that I wanted to put on this one. But if you wanted to add embellishments, you definitely could. So let's go ahead and just adhere this down with that nice border. There we go. So there you go. You have a nice fall thank you card. Thank you, it says on the front. Open it up and you truly inspire me. There you go. I hope you enjoyed our last fall theme for our MoJOY Monday. And we will see you again next Monday with a new card and a new theme. Thank you and have a great week, everyone. Bye-bye.